Sanibonani emakhaya, igama lami nginguNontokozo Kwala, intombi yakamhlaba iyalingana phela. Today we are continuing with the subject that involves Cyan Boujee. As we know that recently there is a video that was leaked on social media. We have covered what the law says about this and the consequences thereof. But after Meg G on Podcast and Chill decided to call her on a live show, I then decided to investigate a bit about what she shared. She shared that this was not an easy period in her life, and the video was taken when she was very young, and she never consented for this to go public. Based on what she has said, we can safely classify this as a revenge plea, because this video was leaked after she refused to make a free advertisement based on her words. She said that she refused to advertise or post about the wine or whiskey for free, and this is a beverage that belongs to a person whom she took the video with when she was 19 years old. An article written by Zelensky, published on the 22nd September 2019, titled "The Long Trauma of the Revenge P." The article is saying, in case you haven't been paying attention, the intersection of the violence and the technology has become an invisible wave heading for the shores of our smartphone. Revenge P, academically known as image-based abuse, non-consensual P, or non-consensual sharing of intimate image, is one of the a host of cyber sexual violation clustered as the technology-based sexual violence. Beyond spiteful ex-lovers, predators, PP Tom's revenge P include hacking hard drives, underskirting, and the use of deep fake, where victim's face is overlaid onto someone engaging in this act. The seamless nature of this technology can make it hard for victim to convince observers it is not them in the video, which can have lasting consequences on victims' life and their mental health. Images based on the abuse is a form of cyber harassment or bullying that involve publicly posting an intimate image that the victim has not consented to have shared. The picture that has been shared on Twitter is what this article is referring to. Many people have been sharing openly and freely without considering the feelings and the impact that will have on Cyan. Scenarios include when victim consent to share an image or video with single person that is then shared by a recipient without consent, having images had from a personal storage then posted on P site, or the sharing of images that were recorded without victims' all consent. Sometimes the victim's personal information is shared along with this image, leading to an ongoing harassment far beyond the public display of the image. You heard that in the call, Cyan was saying this has been a difficult moment because she's even called names on Twitter. They are saying Madret, they are saying she's Boujee, Cyan Boujee, and all that. Other times, the victim is unaware of the crime for months and years until discovered in the dark web of P-side, in the dark web of P-side. The revenge P is widely spread through the globe. In 2017, the Cyberbullying Right Initiative shared data from the USA survey that showed 1 in 8 adults are victims of non-consensual image sharing, and 1 in 20 admits to sharing intimate images without consent. So I would like to research more about the stats in South Africa. And I think this is an exercise that we need to do in the next video. But this article was written by a professor from overseas. Other research has found similar rate in nationwide sample. In Australia, citing 1 in 10 have been victimized online, with more than half of those reporting the incident occur in the last year. Women are victimized in this crime more than men, with the LGBTQ communities and women of color experiencing the highest rate. The S trauma is face-to-face violence has decades of research showing a cluster of symptoms that most survivors have in common, including confusion, changes in sleep, eating pattern, nightmare, and heightened shock response in the short term, and that will prevent them from engaging socially. Imagine Cyan Boujee was saying, I'm known everywhere. Like, it was not even an image, it is a video where people are sharing, and across the globe, I'm known how I normally participate in such engagements. Longer term symptoms include post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, and anxiety. Are these symptoms the same for victims of image-based as abuse? We don't know. The mental health community is just starting to understand the short and the long-term outcome of being victimized online. Most studies have shown that survivors victimized online have significantly worse mental health outcome and somatic symptoms than those who have never been victimized online. One researcher interviewed 18 women in Canada who were as victimized online, and disorder, PSD, anxiety, depression, suicidal thought, and trust concerned were identified. Research by the Cyber Civil Rights Initiative uncovered a prevalence of suicidal thought, while other researchers have found that victims of non-consensual image sharing often experience debilitating level of shame and humiliation along their reduced self-esteem. These reports indicate revenge P appear to have the same post-assault symptom as a face-to-face sexual violence. However, what is drastically different is online abuse is the duration of the violation. With the exception of this domestic violence, kidnapping, and torture, face-to-face as assault commonly take place in hours of time, whereas a revenge P often entail the ongoing. So basically, the summary of this article, it says there are very damaging consequences psychological. A person can even think of taking their lives when this kind of images and videos have been leaked on the internet. And the article continued to say, even if other survivors of this act will try to take the videos down, but it normally will resurface on another site. But in actual fact, this is a tedious exercise that you might not even be successful in making sure that you remove that content, your content online. So what this professor is suggesting, that we need to educate ourselves, educate one another of the consequences of sharing or creating this content. We need to talk to our friends, therapists and professors about these types of crime. And in case you are a victim, you need to seek help before you have those suicidal thoughts and the rest of the identified problems by this article. Another thing that we can do is to support one another in efforts to prevent this nature of victimization from spreading. If someone tells you they have been victimized in this way, believe them, listen to them, help them feel safe in whatever way that means for them. So thank you very much for listening to my voiceover, and I hope this information will be useful to you as listeners. And if you're interested in this subject, you can go on and research about the stats in South Africa to say in what rate or level this is has been prevalent in our communities, in our women, in our LGBTQI communities. Thank you so much and good night.